Welcome back. So in our last video, we kind of talked about how the array had, an index, a value, and also the context, and how we could pass in a function here in our definition function, which is what this is, this each function here that we're building. And the reason we're doing this is because we're trying to show you, I'm trying to explain to you how a function like each, which you could just copy and paste from the underscore library, actually works, so that later on, if you were to debug or you were to get something like a mysterious error, if you didn't understand why you were console logging and expecting to just see, like, here in the underscore, I think it kind of glosses over it, kind of just says alerts each number in turn. You might expect, like as a newbie, to think, oh, okay, well, it's just going to print out 1, 2, 3, because if you did alert, that's exactly what you would see. You would think, okay, this is a very, very simple function. All I have to do is just alert, 1, 2, 3, boom, right? But that's not the case. It's actually giving you alert, and then it would say alert, value, index, and also context. But, because the alert is only running the first thing in the thing for JSPen, you're only going to get that. So let's go ahead and build up on our definition function. And this time we're going to talk about object. So how would we, now that we've got the array working, how do we get the object working? So there's also a method in, there's also a structure in JavaScript where you can do use var I in, if you're familiar with that, and then you could do obj, right? And actually, I'm sorry, this is any. For var in any, what we're going to do is we're going to func, and then we're going to say any, same thing, pass in the value, the index, well, we'll just call I, and then we're also going to pass in any. So now, if the function is an array, well, then do this for array. Else, if it's an object, then we want to iterate through all the keys and values. This is what this thing really does. It goes through keys and values. This is a function, or this is a for loop built specifically for going through objects. In underscore, they don't use this. This is more a simplified version that I'm showing you. Let's see here. What do they use? Well, they use their own method, underscore keys, to get the keys, and then they go through and use the same function that they had here, but then they're going through keys length. So we'll get into that a little bit later. It's a little bit more complicated, but here I can show you exactly how this works. Now that I'm going to pass in, let's just check. I think I have one warning down here. I is already defined. Oh, okay, so we don't want to use I, we can use J. That way we keep within our global. So now let's see here. We keep within function scope. We don't have too many variables in our function scope. Doing the same thing. Okay, so I'm going to pass in object this time, and I want a console log. And boom, I get my value, I get my index, and I also get my object, which is my context, right? And then I get it again, and then I get it again, the value, the property here, and then the object. So, now that you understand how the function works, if I were to write something like object function, this time it's the same thing, I'm passing in a function as opposed to console logging. And I just wanted to see name and property. Well, I would need to pass in those things. So I would need to pass in my value, and I need to pass in my name. And I can rewrite these here because it'll still look at this and it'll say, okay, well, I'm just doing a function and the value and the J, which is my index, and also my context. But in this case, I'm just passing these two parameters here and saying, hey, each function I want you to console log, and I want you to, I'm going to do it this way. I'm going to make it more simple for myself. So I'll just say name plus, and I'll put spaces around these. That way I can get a better sense of everything. Sometimes it's too much, and I'm going to turn this off here. That's very, very nice. Now I can see that my name is VJ, my age is 12, and my website is google.com. So now taking it all together, if I were to use the underscore method now instead of this method that I built myself, I'll just comment all this out now, and I were to pass in my object, you know now how to use it. So we're going to pass in our value and our index, and we'll do the same thing. I'll just copy it here. Run it. Get JSBin output. Oh, I'm sorry. You need to put in value, index, and value. And that's correct. And don't forget a semicolon. So that's great. Now you know how the underscore each function works.